Hi everyone, I'm Danielle from Living Extraordinary podcast and YouTube channel. Join Nikki as she speaks with Udar about his experiences as a monk and check out what he's doing post-monkhood, building domes with experimental materials. You won't want to miss that and the rest of their conversation. So join us for today's episode and hit subscribe. Leave us some comments below. Thanks everyone.
Okay guys, welcome to Living Extraordinary podcast. I'm Nikki Milvick and this is Udar Robinson. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so me and Udar met like in Mexico a year and some change ago. We did like a workshop where we did aircrete domes, and then after that we went and did a month together in Hawaii where I got to get him even better, which was actually in February of last year of 2018. Wow. So yeah, and he's like, now he's building styrofoam domes and doing all kinds of stuff. But so how did you get into the dome stuff, Udar? What brought you to the dome stuff?
I guess I just came across the site and it really, actually don't know where it started. I just like the look. Of course, you see Steve's dome online.
That's not even
that was inspiring.
Right.
Anyways, I like the look. I like the design. And so I just was looking for a change, do something different. So I signed up for the class. And, I've been building most of my life, doing one thing or another involved in building. So I found the classes a little, repetitive. There wasn't a lot, but it was some good stuff there. And I think the main thing for me was meeting lots of cool people that were into the same thing I was. So that was cool.
Yeah.
That was
so.
It's
like
me.
It's this thing where you inject foam into like concrete, which makes the blocks go further and all that. But now Udar has gone on to, how did you get, now he's doing styrofoam domes. So how did you even decide, like what
Yeah.
there?
Well, I was experimenting a little bit with a friend of mine. We were doing the aircrete thing. He made one of those foam injector things, and we started playing around with it, and I realized this is a hell of a lot of work for like one guy. Like, I know they make these domes, but there's usually a lot of people involved. Like, you gotta make the product, you have to cut it up, stack the blocks or whatever, and make it. So it was pretty clear that my friend and I were not going to do that kind of amount of work. And so we look into styrofoam, and I'm actually still experimenting. So I don't have any solid conclusions on styrofoam. I know it comes across as very anti-environmental, but
Yeah.
I've been doing some research, and it's actually not bad. It's like 95% air, and they used to use a CFC, the carbon, or the thing that deteriorates ozone layer, but they've stopped doing that. Now they're using just carbon dioxide to expand the beads. So and they're also using it recycled.
How are you going to get any structural strength out of that? Because I mean, isn't it kind of, it's not really that strong, right? Or am I wrong about that? I mean, I guess like there is some styrofoam that like has like, I don't know, like my microphone came in like a styrofoam case that was pretty heavy duty, but is it a specific kind?
Well, when I was doing this renovation, what do you call it? The base for the shower unit was made out of styrofoam. So it's something they're starting to use more and more in the industry. They use a higher density foam, of course, but it's just a really easy product to work with. It's light, it doesn't break down. Well, of course, that's.
What are you gonna like coat it with, like on the outside to weatherproof it and stuff?
It'd be the same way we built the aircrete domes. We'd be using like fabric with cement, mortar cement. I'm playing around with some stronger mixes like something called high performance concrete, where they use fumed silica and super plasticizers, and what it makes, it turns the concrete. They use it a lot in bridges and where they need really strong concrete. So that'll make a shell that's actually really structural.
Okay, so
also,
you're trying to do it more like a tiny home thing where it's portable, right? Where you can move the thing, like build it one place, move it to another location.
well, depends how big, that could be tricky. I mean, you could probably cut it in half. The one I'm building right now is it's 14 feet diameter, and it's I don't know how light it'll be. It'll be, once you got the fabric on and the concrete, it's not something that's going to be, we'll see, but it'll, maybe a crane could do it, but no, it's pretty much, that's it where you want to. I mean,
So
theoretically,
would it kill
you
you
could break
if it
it
fell
down.
on you in an earthquake?
No, it would. My idea is to actually make it like an egg, structurally wise. So it would. I mean, I guess the threat would be it floating away in a flood, because it's not. It would just stay as one unit. An earthquake is not going to really affect it, because it's one solid unit. Like
So then, like in a
even the base of
tsunami,
it,
you
the
could
base
be
is
like,
all.
okay, so yeah, like as I said, like in a tsunami, you could be like a hamster in one of those wheels. You just be like, your little egg.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's much like building a boat. It's strong, and it just holds together. There's nothing like, a traditional house has a foundation, and you have these frames that can buckle. I mean, the walls, but an egg shape is really strong. It's a really strong shape.
Right. Like I hear that if you put an actual egg in your palm, you're not supposed to be able to break it, right? No matter how
because
strong you
all
are.
the forces are distributed around. There's no weak point in an egg. Whereas a house, you have the corners, and that you can get folding and when an earthquake happens, you get this shaking and
Right.
But
Well,
on an egg, it just, all the forces are directed inward, so it's probably the strongest shape you can make. So it's naturally a good shape to do for a house if you want to live in an egg.
an egghead. I do though, like, because I actually kind of don't like the idea of living in 90-degree angles. For some reason, ever since I was a kid, it used to bother me. I'd be like, it's so unlike nature. Anything in most things in it, it's just like, it doesn't seem like comfortable. It just seems like, it's like you're boxed in literally. I've never liked it. So yeah, that's why the domes really apply, or I don't know. I think I got into
I'm
this.
thinking of that Monty Python skit where the guy's living in a lighthouse and he's going crazy because everything's round. But hopefully it'll be better than that.
Hopefully. But if you have other little, I'm thinking like the Hobbit, man, like inside those Hobbit houses, and
No, I definitely, when we built those domes, I love that feeling. And I even love the sounds,
the acoustics are amazing.
The acoustics were wild. Probably drive you crazy after a while, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Only because you're so used to the other though, but yeah, I don't know.
But it was just an empty thing. We didn't have any furniture or anything, so that'll probably change.
Yeah, I mean, so what are you going to do about like plumbing and like electric and all that? Are you just going to hire that out or subcontract it out, or do you know how to do all that stuff?
I would, I haven't got that far, but I can do basics. But I have friends in the business who could help me with that. But what makes the styrofoam nice is I guess the same with aircrete, is you can just carve all your stuff into the wall. Like don't put on your inside, just leave everything styrofoam until you get all your plumbing and all electrical in, and then you can just, put a coat of mud on the interior.
Okay, so how much
really
do you
easy.
think it'll cost, like total?
No, I'm not good with that. Let's see, I've spent, well, the first one's gonna cost me more because I'm setting up all these molds and everything so I can duplicate whatever I build. Because
Okay.
I basically, if you think of an orange peel, that's basically what I'm making, orange peels and then gluing them together. So
Okay, so that's the kind of mold.
I'm making forms, 3-dimensional forms to create that shell. So that's right now is taking a lot of time. So, but there's a lady I convinced her, I'm using her property. It's a beautiful place on Galliano, right by the water. And she's just let me play, really. She's paying for all the materials. She wants a tiny house built. So I talked her into building a dome. It's actually going to look like a Hobbit house because I'm thinking of putting like a kind of a roof, kind of a half roof, so it looks like a dome house. It'll be like an eaves coming off the dome.
Okay.
So it'll actually, when I start doing the drawings on it, it actually doesn't look like a dome so much. It'll look.
Is it gonna have
It'll look
multiple
like
rooms?
I'm gonna have a upstairs. There's gonna be like a little spiral staircase, and there'll be a little room, like a little loft, and it's gonna be tiny, but
Doesn't sound like it's gonna be tiny if
yeah,
it's gonna have an upstairs, but
yeah, we'll see. I'm not much for planning. I just gonna see what happens.
cool. Well, we will have to
Yeah,
have you on here to see what the after effect looks like. So
definitely.
you are YouTubing it, right? You are gonna post
Yes,
videos as you go along.
I am YouTubing. I was, when I'd never done YouTube before, and I thought I'd have all these views when I stuck it. And I think the first video I put on still doesn't have any views at all. I'm just going, what do you have to do?
Well, even
I
send it
think
to me to view. I don't know. I don't know what the secret is.
I don't know what's going on. It's like
I don't have any views
I'm doing something wrong. But yeah, you told me to make a name or something, but I don't know how that's going to help. And then that's my thing now, is trying to create a name for myself. Of course, I always make the simplest thing hard. So I have to think of a name. So I've been working on that lately. Actually went to one of those numerology people that sort of see what the numbers work on your name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how crazy I am.
I'm gonna have a
I mean,
numerologist. I
to me,
actually had a numerology or reading for the first time about like a month ago maybe, and it was like a 4-hour thing. Like she went over my
yeah,
name,
it's pretty
my birthday.
extensive. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really extensive. I enjoyed it actually. At first I was kind of like, okay, so I like crazy things or like esoteric stuff or whatever, but like for some reason I never liked the idea of like your birthday or like astrology or any kind of numbers being associated with your personality, because it was just too like, oh, you are this, so then that means you're going to be this. Like, oh, you're born in June, that means you're going to do this. So you're and I
Yeah.
just never really, like, for some reason it never really resonated with me. But then when I started getting into like, well, if maybe this is all kind of like a hologram or anything, then maybe that can kind of start making sense. But
Everything's possible. Yeah. When you look at it
right,
that
when you
way.
start looking at it like that, like, or like, well, since we really don't even really understand what this is in general, like life,
Yeah.
then it's like, why not? I guess it's not any more crazy than anything else. And I honestly, so whatever, I gave it a try, and I like had this neurologist lady like read all my stuff, and I mean,
Was she working on your name, or would
she
she?
worked on my, like, so she went by like my first, middle, last name, and then like how I usually go by my first and last name, and then just Nikki by itself, and then like my birthday, and then if you have any, like, I don't know, like I have an employee number that I go by at work, or like like she just worked with all your numbers that you could give her that identify you, and
Yeah.
then
But you weren't looking to change any part of your name. She didn't
no,
suggest changing it. Yeah.
no.
That's what I was looking at. but yeah.
So what did they tell you? Which name are you going to go with?
Well, as you know, I used to, my birth name is Rayto.
How do you spell
And
that?
Rayto.
What
and
is
then,
that? I've never even heard of that. That's kind of cool. Is it like Italian?
That's a good guess. It's sort of, they call it Romage area of Switzerland. It's Italian part of Switzerland. It's actually, they spell Reto, but my dad changed the spelling because he was worried people would mispronounce it. Yeah.
Right.
Everything good out here?
But
Okay.
then I changed my name probably, I don't know, 1995. I joined the spiritual group. So that was
Okay.
changed to Udar. That's what you know me by.
Yeah, that's what I know you by.
And
So let's talk about
now-
that then. Like, how did you?
So now that I've left the group, I don't know what to call myself. So I was trying to get some
Right.
help from this numerologist.
Oh, so you're gonna
I sort of wanted.
you're gonna like rename yourself?
I was thinking it, because why not? I want to, like the numerologist says, you can create what you want, and so why not? But anyway, the suggestions she gave me are pretty bad. Well, she told me, I mean, I don't. Maybe they just need to get used to it or something. But
It is weird because
I mean,
it's like,
she
what would you
she
name?
actually wanted
yourself
me
if
to.
you were to-
I have to go back with a list of possibilities, and that's what I'm gonna do with my business name. I'm gonna give her a bunch of possibilities, and she's gonna look at the numbers and see if it jives or if
Huh.
she can improve on it. It's more of my business name. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with my real name. I just probably keep it. I don't know. I'm confused with it because I don't.
Okay, so then let's talk about that. So you joined a spiritual community in 1995, or before that? When?
No, I got my name then. I joined in 85. 85.
Dude, I was like
Yeah.
2.
You're 3. You're actually born. Wow.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was born 82. So there you go. I was 3. Okay, so all right. So it's about this spiritual community that you joined in 85.
So I joined. I was in Victoria. I joined. I was going to high school, I was going to Camosun College, and I joined. Someone was giving classes on meditation, and I really dug it, and I signed up. Such a long story. I don't know. It was like a big chunk of my life, and I don't really have any. I just felt like, well, the teacher, of course, passed in 2007, so that kind of changed things a little. But I just felt myself kind of drifting. I was feeling like I wasn't really making spiritual progress. I just felt like stuck. So I thought I'd try a vacation, and so that's what I'm doing now.
What I guess like I always would be like, oh yeah, Uter used to be a monk, but like, were you technically a monk? Is that like a thing to say, or is like, what would you guys call yourselves?
Yeah, we refer ourselves to monks. Sure, we were celibate and we were fully committed to the spiritual life, and yeah, we use that term a lot, monks. Yeah.
Okay, so what I wonder about monkhood then is like what how does your economy work? Like if you're not actually having like a mainstream kind of job, so you're inside this community, like how do you
Yeah, this goes into what you're into now. You're into that starting
yeah,
community.
I am. But like
I mean, we weren't really a community in the sense that you might be thinking. Like it was based, well, I mean, I'm talking about New York. Every center around the world was different, but the New York center, I guess it was a community. I mean, we had our own stores, in a little neighborhood, and much like any ethnic group would, New York is full of little pockets of,
Mm.
special, ethnics, and you got your Greek community, your Jewish community, and there's
Right.
there was
So like
there
you
was
would
our
shop
community. There was,
amongst your own selves, basically. Or
well, yes and no. It wasn't that. What do you call it? Exclusive. I mean, we were dealing with the public all the time, and people had regular jobs, and some people worked in the enterprises. But yeah, we did a lot together, which is really cool. We had functions, and 3 times a week we'd have plays and stuff like that. So different people had different commitments to the groups, of course. But yeah, it was great. It was a nice little community. I'm not sure about the being off somewhere in a desert with a bunch of people. I think that might drive me crazy. But
yeah,
being
I think I've decided I want to be like like more in a Fern Gully type set. Like I want to be like some place that has like a natural river. I want like a permaculture place. Like when I went to Oroville in India, I thought that was kind of like a cool situation. And I also don't ever
really, I thought you didn't like it.
No, I did like Oroville. It was cool. Yeah,
Oh.
the Sedhana forest was cool and everything. Yeah. What I didn't like about Oroville was they'd be like, there's no religion, but then they talked about the mother all the time, like and like I thought it was kind of like, all right, you guys, I don't know.
Did I send you that video of that guy talking about Oroville?
Yeah, you did.
That was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, how he said there was like evil spirits there.
It wasn't evil. It was just sort of like, it was sort of somewhat, it was a spirit definitely feeding off of the people. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't there long enough since I thought it was
I might get in trouble from the Orovilles.
Oh, the Orovillians. No, Orovillians, I liked you. I thought you were really cool. You did some cool stuff. I just know that I like Oroville was actually like probably a lot of money to initially set up and get started. I mean, because it's like a lot of acreage. There's like 50,000 people who live there. I mean, they have a lot of infrastructure. Like it's like a
yeah, but it's sort of a separate thing from the ashram.
Right.
Ashram.
Well, Audumbindu's ashram, which is in Pondicherry, which is right outside of Oroville. Yeah, that's true. But Oroville is basically it's like a utopian ideology he used to write about that they manifested and like made into an actual place.
Yeah. So you're going to use some of these ideas from that?
I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, it's just that I honestly, but like the thing is like, I also, okay, there's a couple of things. Like, I kind of feel like the way in which we have this structures, current society, which is like, okay, when you're, 18 or 22 or whatever, you work 9 to 5 until you're 65 years old. And then you work 8 to, with two weeks vacation your entire life. And then so that, and you're all miserable, like punching away numbers or working, doing something that you hate for like, I don't know, whatever, the majority of your life. And then when you're 65, you go take 3 cruises and then you go to an old folks home and die. Like, seems pretty horrible. Like, and it seems kind of like a form of slavery, or like, it's like there leaves no time for being. And I think
we
8
work
hours,
too much, yeah.
8 hours a day of like the height of your day.
I like Tim Ferriss's idea, like the 4-hour
the 4-hour work week. Yeah, for sure. And I definitely I like Tim Ferriss a lot. He's cool. But yeah, I guess like it would be cool if your Maslow hierarchy of needs were met, like meaning like you had like this sort of like place where there's like electricity, food, water, internet. I think internet is a Maslow hierarchy of need. Now I've decided.
I think that's what I miss. Right, that's what I'm kind of having a crisis right now with because I've never really paid much attention to money and stuff. I mean, for most of my adult life, and now I'm sort of hitting like a wall of like I just can't seem to stay out of debt. I used to, everything in the group, I was just sort of like I don't know, what do you call it, like a
handyman. Or
I was a handyman, just going around. I didn't really think about money or too much anyway. They've just, all my needs are met pretty much. And it was cool because he traveled a lot, and I got to travel quite a bit too. But now I'm just like, I'm dealing with like this constant money thing. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah. So what do you think about that then? Like, was it like, did that make you happier when you didn't have to think about money, or is it 6 one way, half the other?
No,
Yeah.
no, it was definitely cool. I like that idea a lot, but I just have to do it a different way. I was just thinking today, I was going, I just can't do anything. You're not much help to anyone being broke. That's what my conclusion was today.
Yeah.
So I got to focus on, making I want to start the business of making domes for people. It'll be a way for me to do what I like to do. And I guess it just needs time to set that up and let it grow, because it's just in the seed form right now. So I'm just going to have to suck it up for a while until I can make that happen. But yeah, I'm pretty confident I can get something working out.
Yeah. I mean, like, the thing is,
I'm still like, I really am just a babe in the woods right now, because I just been in La La Land. I've been a spiritual life, in a spiritual group all this time, and I really haven't had to deal with a lot that people deal with. Yeah, it's pathetic,
So,
but
do you think that makes you
makes me feel young. I'm 55 and I feel like a teenager.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I'm pretty clear what I want to do, so I'm not as lost as your average teenager.
So then, like, do you think that like, was it all for naught, or do you
No,
like, you don't regret any of it?
none whatsoever.
Good.
It was exactly what my soul needed. But I just I got to do something different now. And I know people in the group would not understand that. I wouldn't expect them to, and it doesn't matter, because I have to follow my heart, and it's clear to me what I need to do. I mean, it was clear that I had to leave. I mean, I also got a lot of channeling advice, and they, like, a lot. I'm talking like 30 different people. So I was really not sure.
I know. You've introduced me to a lot of channels that I like. I love channeling. It's just the craziest thing. I love it.
I think I've kind of gotten over I was the addict for a while, but I think I've calmed down quite a bit.
They kind of say the same thing. I mean, in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very cool. I like that a lot. I have to say, still, my probably what started this whole thing was Bashar. I think that he started making me question everything.
But follow your joy, or just,
yeah, I like his idea. Just keep it simple. Just like at every moment, the smallest detail. Just if you're not doing what you want, if you're not doing what's giving you joy at the moment, then why are you doing it? Like, just follow your joy, and just follow like a devoted dog. Just follow that joy, and it'll just lead you to one thing to the next. And
it's interesting.
Yeah, I really like that simplicity of that.
I think a lot of people like have a hard time even knowing what they want, like even knowing what their joy is. So that's interesting.
But it can be simple, like just like go and have a coffee. It's like, it's that simple. Like just what gives me joy right now, and it could be the simplest thing. And you go to the coffee shop, you meet someone that, you know, it's going to make the next move for you. I don't know. Anything could happen when because you're putting yourself in a vibrational match when you're in that. Of course, that's what Esther Hicks talks about, just staying in that high vibration. That's the important thing, and that'll attract you what you want.
I actually recently have you heard of this guy? It seems like Jack Dorsey or Ducey or something like that. Anyway, he's another like law of attraction kind of bandwagon guy, but he kind of talks a lot about how you need to be, essentially, if you had to break his whole thing down, it would be like you need to be doing like self-hypnosis stuff to like reprogram your subconscious, because it's one thing to like center yourself and like have these like positive attraction, all these, but like your subconscious mind always like defaults to like patterns that you have. So it's about like basically, and like he has all these like I don't know, they're kind of like pre-recorded things you listen to that just like go on and on, like, you know, I am abundant, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like they just like start repeating little things to you, and you're just supposed to eventually start thinking that way instead of
try to get you out of your rut. Your ruts.
Yeah. And I was thinking like it would be cool if there was an app that had like some Hemi sync, like those
binaural
beats that are just like a background, and then you have like you can just like speak into it your own affirmations of like what you need to hear for yourself. Be like, okay, like I need to hear like this, and then like some British woman will be like, oh, you know, like something nice. You'll be like, yes, I'm listening to this 1,000,000 times.
I get bored of those things pretty quick. You know, those those meditations, but I don't know. I tried for a while, but I don't know. Didn't seem to.
So what'd you do on a daily basis what were the tasks that they wanted in the spiritual community?
Well, it wasn't so much it was the guru was pretty much deciding what happens, and my job was he was into weightlifting, so I was making a lot of machines for him, weightlifting, like we'd, you know, he pointed, you know, he wants to develop his arm muscles, and he pointed a muscle that he wants to develop, and I would try to figure out a way of exercising that muscle. So it was a lot of fun, just down in the shop,
did you get into
welding things together.
Wow, so you can weld. Okay, that's a skill. Did you
I learned how to weld. Yeah, I never. Yeah.
Okay, well, so talk to me about like the theater stuff that you did, like within, like, so you were kind of an actor though in some stuff, right?
Yeah, in the group. I mean, that was a big part of our group, is putting on performances. So
for each other or for the public?
Yeah, for each other. Yeah. Well, you know, we'd get together about 3 times a year, so you know, be good sized crowds in there. I mean, you know, like 400 or 500 people. But even every week we were putting on performances. Like there was different groups that were put together. I had a play group that my teacher asked me to put together. We were maybe once every. We started off enthusiastic, maybe once every twice a month, but it was becoming everything. That's all I did after a while. I was just so obsessed with putting on plays. Like I'd spend like the whole week just making props and.
What kind of plays? Yeah. Like, are these like you would make them up, you'd write them, or like they would be like Shakespeare?
Well, our thing was I don't know if you're familiar with the Indian epic, the Mahabharata. You know, it's basically the Hindu religion, as far as I know, is based on the book, the Gita,
of the
is in,
Bhagavad Gita?
well, the Gita is the Krishna talking to Arjun just before the battle. And that takes place in the middle of this book. And so it's really, we did a lot of our play just based on stories from the Mahabharata. And, of course, we had elaborate Indian costumes and explosions, and I was into the special effects. So I was kind of known for that crazy, you don't know what to expect plays.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah, it was,
tinkerer.
yeah. And I was lucky to had some really good natural actors in our group too. Like guys, they should have been doing it for a living. They were so good at entertaining people. Yeah.
So what were the rules of being in this community? Like, were there rules? Like, I guess you had to be celibate.
Yeah. No drinking, smoking, the usual bit. But rules. Yeah, I mean, we had to show up for meditation at least once a week, and if you didn't, then you pretty much decide, you're telling the group that you're not involved anymore. So that was a little flexible, especially in New York, because it was pretty hard to keep track of people coming. But yeah, I mean, you have to be pretty much into it. I mean, there was people that were sort of more fringe. They weren't involved too much, but yeah, it was a commitment to join,
So
be part of the group.
how long were you there in total?
I joined in '85, and I've been kind of leaving the last couple of years. So maybe since 2 years, maybe actually I didn't show up. Maybe last year I started not showing up at the annual get together, like April celebrations in August.
Okay, so like 32 years or something. Wow.
Yeah, big chunk of my life. Yeah.
And like why did you decide to leave? Like what's the straw that broke the camel's back, where you were just like, one day you were like, nah?
Yeah, it was just feeling stuck. It wasn't any one event. It was just it seemed like I needed to move on. The teacher was no longer around, so we're always kind of referring to what he would have done, and it's hard to. I don't think you can,
Yeah.
especially a person like that. You can't anticipate what he would do in any one situation, because it's always, some consideration. So it's almost like you're always relying on the past, and I wanted to move forward. I don't want to, just try to guess what he would have done in that situation, or try to figure out. It was just my time to go. I had a wonderful experience, and now, it's almost like one channeler just said, you gotta jump out of the nest. You've had the teachings, now get out there and use them. A lot of the channelers I talked to said, you're a teacher, so you get out there and teach. So I don't feel I could have done it within the context of the group, because I suppose I could, but I just felt like restricted. And anyway, it was my time to go forth.
Go forth and conquer.
Yes.
So then, like, I don't know, what's your main reflection, like I don't know, of there versus back in the real world? Are you kind of like, has it been just horrible being back in the real world, or is there cool stuff?
Yes.
Like, actually, yes.
It's horrible. Yeah, it does suck, especially the broke part. I feel like I could do something if I had some money, but I'm just constantly got this elephant on my back, this debt elephant. But I know I've created it for a reason, and I need to conquer it. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's a very common struggle. I mean, like yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the flight attendant thing, I like it because it gives me flexibility with time. But when I'm actually there, I'm like, this is like taking like a bunch of lifetime away from my time being alive. Like, you know,
Wow.
it's like I would rather be doing anything else besides being there. But I mean, it's like not the worst thing in the world when I'm there, but it's like at the same time, like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the way I feel at work right now. I just can't stand being there. Yeah. I do construction work for a friend, and it's everything about the construction business I just don't like anymore. I feel that we have so much technology out there that's not being used, and so much we're just building like archaic. The way we build now is just so archaic.
And ugly.
You know, why and ugly. Yeah, it's
Mm.
there's no joy in it. It's just we just put up these buildings really fast, and they're stupid. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. Even though I did a lot of framing when I was younger, framing houses before the group. But I'm through with it. The other thing that frustrates me is the wood. You can't get any decent wood anymore. You go to the lumber yard and it's just everything's just twisted, just garbage. It's that frustrates. You can't build anything decent anymore with the wood I can get at the store.
Why is that? We just like
So
cut the good stuff down
because
already and
because
just have little...
we've been well, part of the problem, we ship it all to other countries, all the good wood. I live in BC, so all the good wood gets exported. But also we're cutting down second growth trees, so the wood is really bad quality just because it's grown up in a different way. Like, it's taken hundreds of years for these good trees to be grown, and now we're just cutting them like pencil. As soon as they're big enough to make a 2x4 out of them, they cut them.
Right. Yeah. So they're really
They're
young
weak.
wood.
They break easy. Yeah. I have some theories. I'm really into that Victor Schauberger, and he talks about how forests, it's a living organism, and you need these mature trees to teach the younger trees how to grow. And when you wipe out everything, when you do clear cut logging, all these young trees are growing up, and they're like little kids. They don't know how to grow. And he talks about how you need the older trees.
Yeah.
It's a living organism, and there's communication within the forest.
I mean, they've even proven that they actually, trees talk to each other, and they do this thing where it's like even interspecies, like even if it's like a, whatever, like an oak and a asp or whatever, like if one's sick, they'll actually send sap through the root systems to it. Like they have their whole entire they help each other out building things out. So that makes a lot of sense though, if it's just like they're all like babies.
Yeah, my dad's property, he experienced that firsthand with that beetle disease that was going on killing trees. And on his property, the trees that were further down the line were already developing antibodies against the bug. So there was a communication telling they were warning the trees, and the trees were actually be able to fend off those bugs.
Yeah, I was actually listening to it.
There's so much we don't know. It's just we go in there, we just wipe everything out. We're just completely clueless with our logging practices here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like the only really like building material that I think is like probably the best is cob or adobe, because it's literally like just straw, water, and the dirt on the property.
But the problem is, to me,
That has
is
to be
the
arid climate
labor.
though.
Is the
Yeah,
labor.
it
It's
is a
just,
labor
I mean,
thing.
I don't want to spend, a couple of years building my house. I wanted, on the interior, I want to make it look nice. Maybe I spend the time on that. But as far as just getting the frame up, that's where the styrofoam to me makes so much sense. You just get your shell up really fast. You can, and then you can just spend time making it really nice. You can put some nice wood trim in there or whatever. But as far as the main structure, it's pretty hard to beat styrofoam. I may change. I mean, right now that's just my thing right now. But it's pretty hard to beat. I would like to get into like mushroom, like mycelium. I heard of people growing houses from mushrooms,
Really?
but even that,
That'd be
yeah,
cool.
they grow like they call it mycelium is sort of the root part of a mushroom, and
Right.
they're actually IKEA's using it in their packet, or they're supposed to be switching to mycelium packaging, where they grow the mushroom around whatever they're shipping, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
totally
That's
biodegradable.
like amazing. Yeah, the
But
mushrooms look
I don't want my house to be biodegradable. I want my house to last forever.
yeah, I mean like
So,
what do you do with the
I mean,
I
I think styrofoam is not good for like throwaway cups and stuff. But as far as a building material that's you want it to last
you want it
for a
to
long
last
time,
forever
I'd say,
anyway? Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah. So I think I think it, we're. I don't want to. I don't think people should look at styrofoam in its context. And
Yeah,
I think
you're
it's,
because I have like this whole like ew styrofoam. Isn't that like they Sonic
yeah.
use it and like ew, and
Well,
it's
it's
never
it's
biodegradable.
clogging up our oceans and landfills. Yeah, naturally, it's a big problem, but it's not being used in the right way.
So what are you doing with the waste, like the styrofoam waste? Like when you're cutting something and like the stuff you're not going to use, what are you going to do with that styrofoam?
Well, I'm thinking you can
Creating a
add it to
bin,
you can add it to concrete and make a similar product as aircrete. You
right?
instead
As
of
the
putting
filler.
instead of using soap foam, you just mix up your concrete and you add the styrofoam chips. You could actually go to a recycling place and just you could grind up all their styrofoam they're trying to get rid of and add that to your concrete. You can make, aircrete. Well, not aircrete, you'd make styrofoam crete.
Styrofoam crete. Yeah. Okay, that's
Almost sounds
cool.
like a swear word.
Yeah, it kind of does. Are you still a fruitarian?
Uh, I call myself a freetarian. If it's free, I eat it. No, I
If you were in Hawaii,
yeah,
you'd be a fruitarian.
yes, definitely. Yeah, I pretty right now, pretty much, I've got a pizza sitting in front, getting cold.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So no, I'm not a fruitarian. I like the idea.
But you were for
What
a
I've been
while, right?
doing
When I
lately is
met you, you were only eating fruit.
no, I was in Hawaii though, not in fruit in the morning and the afternoon, and then in the evening sometimes I'll just stick with fruit, but usually I get this. I need an emotional, hit, or if I'm with friends or if I'm with my family, I don't want to be a pain in the
Right,
ass, so
right, right.
whatever. But yeah, I'd say fruit pretty much makes up most of my diet, and I'd like to go that way. But I find, especially in the winter,
Yeah,
you
it's
just
hard to
feel
come
like
by.
something. It's not so much it's more of emotional. It's just an addiction, really. I mean, I think I've gone long times with just fruit, and it works great. It's whatever you get used to, you sort of get into this habit, and it becomes really easy. But then sometimes I find if you cheat, then it becomes hard. But if you stick to the fruit diet, then it's easy. Like anything, you just stick with it, and
Yeah,
Do you have
that's
anything
true.
to say about that?
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I've never tried. I'm a vegetarian. Like, I've done that for so long that it's, yeah, like the longer you do it, it's like now it's like not difficult. Like people are like, I don't know how you do it, and I'm like, it's like not hard at all because like I've been doing it since like 2011, so it's like not a big deal for me. But then, um, uh, so yeah, the longer you stick with it, the better it is. The fruitarian thing, though, I kind of like that because it's like, oh, I don't know. The other day, my brother was like, "Well, plants are alive. You're eating plants, so like, what are you gonna say?
Yeah.
What, are you putting animals above plants? Are you saying that I'm just like, shut up, But at least if I was a fruitarian, I could be like, yeah, I don't kill anything, so eat
Yeah, but
that,
they just the tree just like, here, take it.
Yeah, it just
It
drops
just
it anyway.
produce
So
drops it on the ground. No, it's I find it. I got a lot of energy from the fruit. I'm totally into that right now. I follow this guy called Dr. Robert Morris. Yeah,
Dr. Robert Morse. Okay, cool. Yeah.
yeah, he's cured hundreds, thousands of people with fruit diet. Yeah.
So okay, you're like, where'd you learn to tightrope?
Oh, slackline. What I
Okay,
did is, I mean, I'm not that good at it, but
it's
what
pretty
I
good.
did is I had to set up in front of my apartment, and in New York, and I had to go over it. That was the rule. So in order to get to my apartment, I had to go over the slack line. So that was how I practiced, because I could never justify just spending time to practice. So that was my thing. I would just walk across it every day.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah,
I don't know how you how you do that. Okay. All right. So do you want to talk about like um the Egyptian qigong or anything like that? Or okay, all right. How about this? If you don't want to talk about that, let's.
there's not much. Yeah,
Well,
I could.
I
There's not
looked
much
up
to
on
talk
YouTube.
about.
I
I
couldn't
just
find
do
Egyptian qigong.
really.
Yeah, I couldn't find
Oh,
any. Like who is
I
this?
forgot the guy's name. He this well this guy uh this guy, I think he's in Canada somewhere, but he channeled this Egyptian god and he showed him all these moves. But he's saying all those moves, all those statues of Egyptians doing in those weird positions.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, if
Yeah, where
you
they're
look at
just like,
Egyptian artifacts, they got these people and they're in these weird positions. But those are actually, according to him, Tai Chi kind of moves. You just hold these positions and it's a Tai Chi thing they're doing. That's what those
wait,
guys are doing in
hold on
those
real quick. One
artifacts.
second. Wait, one thing I have to talk about real quick is like, okay, tell me your most paranormal experience.
I don't have any paranormal experiences. Really.
Nothing? Like you've never had like a lucid weird ass dream, you've never seen a UFO, you've never like seen a ghost, you've never like had something poltergeisty move that you didn't know why it moved, or
Well, I mean, I've had pretty real dreams. The other one, I had a dream of I was actually working for Trump. I don't know what that was about.
okay.
I had a similar one with Hitler. I was, working with Hitler, sort of like I don't know,
Like
kind of like a
like in
theme
what
for me.
capacity?
Like, just like right beside him working, just Joe Boy or whatever. Um, that was pretty paranormal stuff. I don't really have visions or anything, or I look out for UFOs, but I never see them.
Really? Well, that's so I don't know, like, so you're really interested in like the spiritual stuff. So then like what made you
Still look.
actually like, I don't know, what got you into all that then? Like, I mean, I have seen UFOs and stuff. So like that kind of stuff is like awesome, like confirmation that, oh yeah, there's something else going on for me. So like
Yeah.
that's, so that I feel like that's sort of like, maybe that's just like what my particular soul needed as a push to get me to go into a different direction than, you know, like take the red pill, blue pill thing.
Yeah, we all experience. Yeah. Yeah, we all experience things differently. Mine is definitely not. I think it's more of a feeling for me. I don't really.
Oh no.
Not too visual. I mean, I will go with my instinct. Oh no, did I lose you again?
Yeah, you lost me for a little bit. I heard you
Still
go. Yeah. Right now I can hear you again.
Yeah, where were we?
Oh, you're just saying that like you don't really, yours is more of a feeling. You don't really have visuals or things talking to you in your head. You don't
Yeah.
really. Yeah.
I wish I could get more clear answers. Yeah, for me, it's right now, it's just feeling.
So then like what, like you practice meditation so much throughout your entire life. Like, I mean, that's supposed to be like a pretty good tool to awakening like psychic senses or kind of whatever, if you want to call it that. Like, did that ever happen for you?
No. Yeah, I actually wasn't much of a meditator. I mean, they called it, there's karma yoga. Three of them are. There's different kinds of
like Kundalini yoga?
yogas. Karma,
Ugh, you're breaking up again.
bhakti yoga.
Yeah, Udar, you're like coming in and out. You're kind of breaking up.
There we go. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we're talking about bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, karma yoga. I'm a karma yoga. I was selfless service is comes under the title of karma yoga, where you work selflessly. I was one of those that just worked.
Is it like asanas or asanas as well, or is it just it's that's not, you just literally do selfless work for others?
What's asanas? I know what
Like it's like
I've
the
heard of it
actual
before. I can't
movements.
remember
It's like
what
it
it is.
has movements to it, like, you know, like poses.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know what that would come under, but serving, serving your master was sort of the thing, or serving a guru.
Yeah, I
form
know,
of meditation.
as a form of meditation. Okay, so like, tell me about that, because I think that's always sounds kind of like a little bit of like it sounds like a king and a peasant and a, you know, like it sounds like medieval or something to me. Like, is that like wrong thinking or
well, it's
not?
definitely it's not a Western. Yeah, the Western world doesn't really understand that sort of devotion or way of a spiritual life. Yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah, that's always
grow up.
confusing.
You have to grow up in India to understand that. I'm not much for explaining those. Yeah, I just did my thing, and I thought I was doing the right thing. I think I was. Am I in the shadow here?
Yeah, and you're turned sideways, but
whatever.
whatever.
I'm gonna be in the dark pretty soon. The sun's going down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyways, that's what it is. I don't know how to explain it. I was just that's what I did, and I'm not doing that anymore. I'm
Yep,
doing
that's
my own
good.
thing. Yeah, I had thought about that. I'm trying to remember. I just want to do my own thing. It sounds selfish, anti-selfless, selfish. So selfish, but I think I want to explore that because that's what I want to do.
Yep. If you want, you can go to Udar's YouTube channel and check out him doing all these buildings as he's going. If not, you can just be Udar Man for now.
I'll be a Udar man. Yeah.
It
All
works.
right. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Cool. It
works.
was good talking to you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Okay. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Udar. Bye.